It's a midweek clash in the USL Super League as we welcome you to Dallas, Texas. It's Dallas Trinity looking to bounce back after a loss to Carolina Ascent, and a DC Power side hungry for points. Alongside Jess Sharman, I'm Michael Watring. Great to have you on board for this matchup here tonight as we take a look at the standings in the USL Super League, and things are getting tight at the top. Dallas Trinity looking to keep pace with Carolina, Brooklyn, and Fort Lauderdale United for the top spot. Meanwhile, DC Power is falling behind, and there's not a lot of time left for this group to make the postseason. When you look at Dallas, though, Jess, you have a team that gave up a season-high 3 goals to the Ascent last week.
Well, it's been a turbulent spring season, really, for this Dallas Trinity side. And as we saw in the standings, they have to improve because Tampa Bay Sun is right over their shoulders. For Dallas Trinity, there's been amazing results against Brooklyn FC, including that emphatic 6-0 victory. However, they found some patches where they haven't been clean enough defensively. Carolina Ascent was the biggest red flag for them, conceding 3 goals in disappointing fashion.
Nia Corbin tallying a brace in that match, and Cameron Lancaster has brought a different dimension in Pauline McDonald's eyes to this group. A couple goals in 4 outs.
Well, she told us it's like she's been here since day one. She brings the perfect attitude on and off the pitch. And what I love about her is her dynamic runs. She can stretch the field. She's also extremely versatile. You can see her feature as a 9 and a 10 in the same game, which makes her unpredictable.
She leads Dallas into action against a DC team that in the fall season struggled to score goals. They were shut out 9 different times during that stretch. They only scored 7 times in the fall, but they went through a coaching change. They have new players. It's a very different look to this team.
What I'm liking about this DC Power side under interim head coach Phil Nana is that they're competing in every game they feature. Their games have been close, and it feels like they are continuing to grow. He feels like there's more to come from this side.
And you look at the spring for this team, they've scored goals in every match. The problem is they don't have a win so far.
They need to be better defensively, but they have improved in front of frame. They're getting goals from different areas on the pitch as well. I've loved seeing Loza Abera step up. Bagley is a very talented player as well. Gianna Gurley, of course, extremely talented, but they have to find ways to complete the performance.
You mentioned Gianna Gurley. She has been exactly what you expected from her. She was a great goal scorer at Grand Canyon, and she scored 3 and assisted 1 in her 4 matches with DC Power.
Well, it's funny because she came in on loan with a little bit of pressure on her shoulders for a DC Power side that has struggled in front of goal, but she has thrived under that pressure. She's dynamic, she's got an eye for goal, and confident. This finish, absolutely beautiful. Her awareness on the field, second to none on this DC Power side.
DC Power have the 2nd longest winless run in the league. Do they break that tonight on the road against a Dallas team that has gotten points in 8 of their 10 home matches? Answer those questions and plenty more. It's the starting 11s and the opening kick when we return to the Cotton Bowl.
It is not the critic who counts, not the one who points out how the strong woman stumbles, or where the doer or deeds could have done better. The credit belongs to the woman who is actually in the arena, so that her place shall never be with those cold and timid souls, who knew neither victory nor defeat.
This is UT Southwestern Medical Center, and this is where a spark happens. This is the teamwork that fuels it, the mentors who shape it. And this is where it comes together, with this care team connecting the dots, all leading up to this moment right here at UT Southwestern, where discoveries change lives. And this spark is just the beginning. Follow your spark at UT Southwestern, the future of medicine today.
Yeah, I said what I said. I'd rather be famous instead.
Welcome back to the Lone Star State as we close it on kickoff. It's Dallas Trinity playing at home against DC Power in a midweek clash to start off week 27 in the USL Super League. Michael Watfrang, Jess Sharman back with you. Dallas Trinity starting 11 looks like this, and what do you see out of this group?
I can't help but focus on that front five for Dallas Trinity. There is so much diversity in the skill set of this team. Keep eyes on Ubagago on the left, Bolt on the right, because they have pace and skill. And then, of course, Ali Thornton in that golden boot race, looking to become the first player in Super League to 10 goals on the year.
DC counters with this starting 11 because they have 5 players more than any other team in the USL Super League on international duties, so they have to make a little bit of adjustments.
But Phil Nana told us this is an opportunity for players to step up. I look at Madison Wolf-Bauer as needing to lead this back line with the absence of Claire Constant. And then, of course, we highlighted her in the open, Gianna Gawley. What can she do connecting with Kurosaki and Loza Ribera in the top line?
Phil Nana leading this group into action in this matchup, and he said that it's been better in this second half of the season, but he's new as a head coach. There's a lot of new players on this team. It's going to take time to find that consistency. But we are underway here this evening as DC Power and Dallas Trinity face off for the 3rd time this year in the Cotton Bowl. It is DC Power in the all-blue kits tonight and the all-maroon for Dallas Trinity, and you know Dallas wants to get back after it. It's a good sign for them after they lose 3-0 to Carolina Ascent to get back on the field. Meanwhile, DC Power has been so close to knocking the door down and getting a win. They just haven't quite been able to get over the hump in the spring year.
And I think because of the importance in such different ways for both these sides, it's that first goal that is going to be paramount in this game. Both teams want to set the tone early, get on the score sheet, ease those nerves, but also get into the heads of their opponent on the field.
Dallas have scored 4 times in the first 6 minutes of matches this season. Meanwhile, it's a DC team that have not scored first very often this year. There's Adelaide Gay funneling this through the middle. Those 5 international call-ups for DC, 39 total starts out of that group for the top 11 in terms of minutes. So it's a good sign for the success of the group that you have so many players that are eligible to play for their countries, but also difficult to try to work on the fly with that kind of talent, trying to infuse that.
Well, Phil Nana told us it was a blessing and a curse in the same vein. It's an opportunity for other players to get minutes. They also have a quick turnaround in game, so there was going to be rotation nonetheless. But when you lose leaders on the field and off the field, it can be a struggle.
This is a great ball here for Tamara. Tosses it through the middle, and it's Wolf-Bauer knocking that ball right back to where it came from. And the Brazilian unable to hold on to it. DC Power look to press.
But I love Tamara and what she can bring. Pauline McDonald told us she's unique to this side. She just needs to clean up a few things on both sides of the ball to develop into the complete player.
Madison White just throws that out of play. I'm not sure that she needed to do that. You're a former goalkeeper. How do you handle those situations?
It can be really tough as a goalkeeper getting that first touch on the ball. Sometimes you're a little overzealous in that moment. You have a lapse in concentration. It's a nervous first touch. Would like to see her settle it, but at the end of the day, it didn't go into the danger zone, so she'll take a sigh of relief.
Madison White, the league leader in clean sheets, has 7 of them. Fitch. That's the return pass. Davison knocks it out for a throw.
But it's the fullbacks in this system. So today, Fitch and Diorio that have a lot of work rate for Phil Nana's side. You'll see her get up and down that right side.
Ubagago with Ribera right there. Here's Fitch. Dances past Ubagago, curls this in. The header gets knocked away. Davison throws it through the middle of the field. DC will gladly take that for a moment before it's sent all the way down the park.
I'm really impressed with how DC Power have stepped in to a difficult place to go play. The Cotton Bowl, an intimidating environment, a huge stadium. You're on the road, and they're playing their brand of soccer, their brand of football. And that's a brave thing. They haven't been rewarded with a score sheet yet moment, but they are getting looks in that final third.
Only 2 wins on the road this year for the Power. 4 of their first 6 road matches were all decided by 1-0 scorelines. They've been low scoring when they've left the home park. Pass angles out of play. Madison Mernon. Dallas looked to capitalize on that giveaway. Gagu has it knocked away. There's Pauline McDonald. She mentioned about her team. They didn't hit the standards that they expected against that Carolina set group that was soaring over the weekend. They had gone 6 straight games not allowing multiple goals until that. Here's Allie Thornton. Allie Thornton tries to tuck it near side.
Well, I think you could hear some of the fans thought that one had rattled into the back of the net. Allie Thornton given a pocket of space, closed her hips, drove it to the opposite side. I think in the end, in goal, Adelaide Gay had it covered, but Allie Thornton getting a good look early on in the match.
One of the 3 players in the Super League with 9 goals to lead the Golden Boot race. Rivera throws this ball forward. Doesn't reach its intended target as Jenna Walker steps back, and now Madison White eludes Kurosaki. And Kurosaki commits the foul. Let's take a look at tonight's UT Southwestern injury report. And no reported for DC, but we mentioned the 5 players on international duty. Meanwhile, for Dallas, they have a few players that are out. No Lexi Missimo tonight either. She's dealing with a lower leg injury.
And Lexi Missimo, a huge miss for this side in particular. She's been fantastic since arriving from the collegiate game. And listen, it's a similar story for both sides. When you have a deep list of players unavailable, it creates an opportunity, the next player up mentality. And these players that are getting the chance to play today want to make sure they're grabbing their opportunity to make decisions more difficult for their coaches when they are available.
Phil Nana told us that even though they are missing these pieces with the international duties, he said, we have 25 players on the roster because we think all 25 can contribute at the same level. This ball all the way across. Fitch brings it in. Looked like it hit her hand, and indeed it did. Alyssa Nichols right there to spy it.
But look how high up the fullbacks are. That's Fitch inside the 18-yard box. Phil Nana gives his fullbacks a lot of free rein. They have to get back and defend. That's a huge part of their duty and a huge part of the reason they need to be so fit. But they're also given that freedom to play, to get forward, to crash the box. And that's something you're seeing under interim head coach Phil Nana's style.
Tug and a foul. He said that the wingback's really the most stressful position on the field because of exactly that. There is that expectation to add that element to a team that has 6 fewer goals than any other team in the USL Super League, but also the requirement to play defensively, particularly against good scoring teams like this Dallas team who leads the league with 30 for the year. Lancaster commits another foul, and Alyssa Nichols, her 2nd game as the center referee in the USL Super League, has a quick chat. Adelaide Gay drawing the assignment tonight. Youngo gets it over the top, and now here's Anna Bagley, but we get a whistle to stop play, and the head injury of Tamara ensures that the play stops right there. Of course, you do not mess with that anymore.
That's a good call from the referee to stop the play. I think Yango, if this one isn't pulled back, a little lucky to not give away the high boot, and it does look now like the referees realized that it was a high boot contact. Even though Tamara was stooping to make contact, the boot is still raised in a dangerous manner, so correct call in the end. I think the free kick resulting is the fair result.
Amber Brooks to take this. She was college teammates with the goalkeeper on the other side at North Carolina back in 2010, 2011. And lost this over everybody, and the former North Carolina Tar Heel will take this goal kick.
And we had a conversation about the goalkeeping role with DC Power, because we have seen Adelaide Gay and Morgan Aquino switch game time regularly. And Phil Nana told us when it comes to Gay, what she offers that is slightly different is dominance inside her box, even though she's a shorter goalkeeper. And I'm a huge fan, Short Goalkeeper Appreciation Club, in case you didn't know. But it's to do with her positioning. It's to do with her confidence. It's to do with her communication. And against a side like Dallas Trinity that likes to get the ball wide to the likes of Tamara and Ubagagu, it makes perfect sense to put a goalkeeper in that's going to come and claim those deliveries.
Tamara plays that out wide. Lancaster's cross knocked right back and out for another throw. Diorio getting a piece of that. Good defending by Bagley, takes it away, but unable to clear it out. And now Brooks curls this around, looking for Ubagagu, and it ends up out of play. 10 minutes in the book so far in this one. We're scoreless between Dallas and DC. Dallas looking to stay above the playoff line. DC trying to make their push in the second half of the year. Michael Washrang, Jess Charman, and our crew with you here tonight in Dallas for this Week 27 matchup in the USL Super League. Thanks for tuning in. Short Goalkeeper Club, is that what it's called? Do those have t-shirts?
We should get some, honestly. There's enough of us in the game, and what I mean about this is, as a smaller goalkeeper, you have to rely on your positioning more, because you're not going to be able to get away with it. So your footwork has to be stronger, your positioning has to be better, and if you can get those two things ace, the size isn't going to affect you as much as it might.
Kurosaki tries to get it around the defender, unable to do so, but a throw comes. DC Power looking for its first shot of the game. This ball tossed in all the way over, and it's Madison White picking it up. Dallas have outscored teams 19-8 at home this year. And after those two monster wins against Brooklyn, outscoring what was once the top team in the league, 9-0. They were shut out 3-0 against Carolina Ascent on Saturday. Here's Hinson. Lancaster's pass for Thornton behind her.
You need to see Thornton a little bit more dynamic in those moments. I think she stood too stationary. Lancaster's looking for some movement ahead of her, didn't find it. That's uncharacteristic of Ali Thornton, who's one of the most dynamic forwards in the league.
Good passing here. Ibarra gives it away. And the ball won cleanly. Gorley splits the middle of the field, looks for options. Duong, who's second in the league in chances created this year.
She's a set-piece magician. Any dead ball, expect to see Katie Duong in a moment to deliver something in.
Fine defending by Hannah Davison to take it back, and nearly another pilfer by Yango. Brooks unable to work it out wide for Tamara. Can DC counter? They have numbers here. Laid off to the left channel. Kurosaki crosses it over White's head. It bounces off the turf and goes out.
Not a bad idea from Kurosaki. You can see a little bit of frustration in her facial expressions there, because she knows she puts too much on the delivery. But what's encouraging for DC Power is they're finding plenty of green grass to run into, and they're taking their space aggressively.
These two teams have met twice this year, back in September on this field. There was a 1-1 differential, and both players that scored neither are with their teams anymore. Dorian Bauckham scoring in the 29th minute, and then Sam Meza scored in the 65th minute in a 1-1 draw. And then in October in DC, that was 0-0. The Power had 12 shots, but only 1 on target in that matchup.
And you mentioned Sam Meza. That's been part of the struggles of the spring for Dallas Trinity. And honestly, I've been very impressed with the players that they have been able to recruit to come in. But when you lose a player of Sam Meza's quality and the fact that she was your metronome in the midfield, it can be tough to recover. So credit to Pauline McDonald and her side that they've been able to fill that void so quickly this season.
Goes direct with this ball. It's over everybody. Rolls back down towards Gay. At the quarter-hour mark of this one, looking for a goal. Allie Thornton had the best chance in the 5th minute. She nearly beat the keeper near side, but it just splashed off the left side of the post, out of play. Temperatures in the low 70s here for this one. Not a lot of wind in Dallas. Some thunderstorms expected later on tonight. Don't miss out, Trinity fans. There are only 3 more home matches this season, so make your plans now to be at all of them. Join us for our next home match on April 19th against Fort Lauderdale United FC as we celebrate our abilities. Get your tickets now by scanning the QR code or by sending an email to tickets@DallasTrinityFC.com. Through the middle, it's Lancaster. Lancaster launches from long distance, and that one doesn't miss by much in the end.
And if you give Lancaster a little space to run into, she will absolutely take it, picks her head up, knows exactly where she's going, doesn't quite have the curve on it. Gay has it covered, but again, just how dangerous Lancaster can be with any sort of pocket of space in front of her.
Pauline McDonald, as you see the offside on Gorley, Pauline McDonald said that Lancaster brings something different to the team. Just dynamic in her movements, and she can be fearless for this team, and that's something that, as you mentioned, with Sam Meza gone, they need somebody like that to kind of pick up that area to make them multi-dimensional as they attack.
And what I love is her story of how she arrived to be here. She wasn't necessarily recruited. She was brought in as a training player and earned her right to be on that side. And sometimes when you have a player that has that almost chip on their shoulder, that they weren't necessarily scouted, but they wanted to prove themselves, she brings the perfect attitude onto the field.
This throw goes towards Thornton. Never reaches her. It comes back out where Brooks taps it for a moment. Julia Dorsey doesn't get enough on that to clear it away from Gorley, but Tamara ensures that possession stays on this end of the field. And a foul is whistled on Grace Yango, the 31-year-old from Cameroon.
Yango does have to be a little careful because she's had a couple of those now where she's been quite late. And I think if you have 1 or 2 more of those, you start to draw the referee's attention that a caution is going to be necessary.
Free kick here. Chioma Obagagu hits this ball with the left foot. It's headed high and over the top. Sierra Hinson was in a really good spot. It was a delightful ball as well, but too much on the header.
This delivery in from Chioma Ubagagu is absolutely brilliant. Hinson gets away from the defense. It's a great run to find herself in that space, but just has to get over the top of that ball and head it down. If she heads that one down, it's 1-0 Trinity. Wasn't able to do so there. But again, the service from Ubagagu. If you give a dead ball to Chioma Ubagagu, she's going to put it on a plate for a teammate.
Hinson is one of the multiple players, 11 of them this year, that have scored for Dallas. There's another foul, and Midfield aggression, something we're seeing a lot from DC Power, but they concede another foul.
I think it's tactical in a lot of ways, and that's part of the game. You allow a team to know that you're not going to back off, that you're going to be physical in the game. And I think Phil Nana won't be mad at the places on the field that his side are fouling today. He said he's got to figure out where they foul and when.
Ibarra had options on the left. Kurosaki might have been the most open, but he's right to a defender. Brooks counters. Brooks lays this off, and too much on that for Tamara. Select is the official match ball supplier of the USL Super League and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Actually said that that ball took a deflection, so it's a corner kick here for the first time tonight. Chioma Obagagu readies with this one. The Capel, Texas native curls this ball towards the spot. It's Tamara heading it, and it goes wide. So 20th minute. Dallas have very much been on the front foot, looking to bounce back after their worst loss of the year against a DC team with the second longest winless string in the league, and DC just not getting enough attacking opportunities so far.
They had their moments early on in the game, but the service wasn't quite there. I think back to that Kurosaki opportunity where she's in a great area of the pitch, has runners inside of the box, and just overhits it from everybody. They've had more of the ball, 59% of the possession so far, but they've got to utilize that possession to create good-looking opportunities. There's no point in having possession if it's not with that effective purpose in the attacking third.
We talked to Phil Nana about this league in general because it has been a very tight league in terms of margins. And he said ultimately in the end, it's about the consistency within the roster. You look at a lot of the teams that have been together from the start of the year, they're the ones at the top of the table. And teams that had to make a lot of changes, they're the ones right now that are sitting towards the bottom of the table. So very much feeling like his team behind in terms of the overall progression. Feels like they can get there. There's time left. But the problem is that with every match that passes, the margin seems to widen.
And it's so tough when you have to make a coaching change. You change the style of play. It's a different identity. You have to take time to learn and grow in that identity.
Finch had the right idea, looking for Kurosaki. It's, again, those moments, just that one little finishing touch pass that could lead to something here for DC Power. The good news for them, they were shut out 9 times in the first half of the season. They've scored in every game so far in the spring season, but they've only scored 4 first-half goals all year long. They've been playing catch-up far too frequently.
But they're looking like a team that can score goals now. They're connecting in the final third.
Here's Ibarra. Her touch lets her down a little bit. Thought about taking a swing, leaves it back. Fitch, the captain, loses possession as Walker knocks it away. And Dallas ace another defensive test for a moment. Walker does really well to keep that in and allows Obagagu to launch this to midfield. This is a beautiful build so far for Dallas, and it's an excellent cutback through the middle. Brooks debating. Brooks elects to pass it in, gets taken out, and draws the foul. And it's Wolfbauer that commits it against Brooks, and it's a dangerous look here for the Trinity.
So we get another look at this phase of play. Brooks head down, driving. Great moment of transition. Beats Wolfbauer there. I like this from Wolfbauer because she has the energy to get back, and in the end, she does clip the legs of Brooks. The work rate to recover, good, but I think Wolfbauer needs to be smarter in this scenario as an experienced player to not commit the foul in such a dangerous region of the park. And that's one of Phil Nana's coaching points. He said that they've given up too many silly set pieces in silly areas on the pitch, and it's a moment where they just have to have that thought process of where and when to commit these fouls.
Now how they defend. It will be Obagagu curling this ball in. Oh, it's flawless. Dallas strike on a brilliant free kick from Chioma Obagagu. And the Trinity lead it 1-0.
Pauline McDonald just about having a smile there, and how do you not smile in that moment Amber Brooks does magnificently well to draw this free kick opportunity. And then Ubagagu, the rest is history. This is a magical strike to bend it around the wall, to be able to place it where the goalkeeper doesn't even make the dive. She knows she's not going to get there. It's a classy finish from a classy player. And Trinity delightfully in the lead.
Ubagagu scores for her 4th time this year. The 32-year-old that you had just mentioned is great on set-piece actions, and she had just an absolutely delightful strike, and Dallas scores first here tonight.
But for Phil Nana, he's going to be in absolute despair right now, because we have these conversations with coaches in the week where they're vulnerable with us. They tell us their concerns, and one of his main concerns he listed was the decision-making of players, that they had too many costly errors in moments. And I know Wolfbauer's making an effort to get back, and I praise the effort to get back. But to commit the foul after Brooks has already taken a shot that was going to be a tame shot, then sets up the free kick. And it's a moment of magic. Ubagagu's not going to score that one every day of the week. But you can't give a player of that caliber the opportunity from a set piece on that region of the field.
Dallas this season is unbeaten when scoring first. 6 wins, 2 draws, and they get the opening goal on the year. And a corner kick oncoming here for Dallas as they look to gain even more separation here in this opening 45. Ubagagu curls this one in. It's Lancaster. Lancaster hits it, and Gay gets a piece to push it over the top.
What a save this is from Gay. Absolutely brilliant. But you can see her frustration after she's had to make this save, because she's wondering, where are my defenders? Why is she being given this time to pick her space? In the end, she gets up with a big parry, but the organization from DC Power has to be better. It shouldn't be that easy for Chioma Ubagagu to play a ball across your 18-yard box when you have bodies back there to defend.
Another corner, this time from the opposite side of the field. Ubagagu slices it in. Brooks heads it, angling just wide right in the end. And Dallas very much flexing its muscle here in the last few minutes, looking to add to a 1-0 lead.
But it's Ubagagu again, a set-piece magician. That's 2 corner kicks she's had that have led to open headers for her side. The first for Tamara that went over, and then this opportunity from Brooks. She's finding players in good areas of the pitch in her set pieces.
Tamara is inside of the 18, lays it through the middle. Hinson had ideas of going behind the back, but it's Gay again with a sturdy stop.
But it's the momentum right now for Dallas Trinity. They have so much momentum after finding that goal. You can feel DC Power dropping off in their intensity. What Phil Nana's side need right now is a big moment, a big crunching tackle, a big run forward, something that just lifts the spirits of your side and reminds you that for the first 20 minutes of this game, you were very much in it, and perhaps even on the front foot, you just weren't able to get that go-ahead goal.
Dallas have 7 of the 8 shots in this match so far. Tamara lets this ball roll out for a throw. Dorsey splits a gap. Dorsey decides to take a shot attempt that gets blocked by Duong. Julia Dorsey, native of Baltimore, was a 2-sport star at North Carolina. Tosses this on the ground. The league's leading goal scorer, Thornton, back to Lancaster, into the 18. It juggles through the middle. It comes to Ubagagu. She curls it through, but on the ground, Hinson is unable to get up or get a piece as it rolls all the way out for a throw.
Well, I think Chioma Ubagagu gets caught between a cross-come shot here. Let's take another look at how it transpired. In the end, Lancaster putting in a dangerous delivery, awkward bobbles, and here, she just pulls it across the face of frame. There were two defenders on the line, which would have made it tougher.
Thornton right through the middle. Hinson again has that touch let her down. Davison is down. Trying to flex that left ankle. DC very much needs some possession, and they need some chances to be created. Under a great deal of duress. Nearing the half-hour mark, Kurosaki floats this over the top. Gorley waits. Brooks, the veteran, clears it to the sideline, and Tamara unable to get that ball all the way out of trouble.
But it's that player, Gorley, that needs to get moments on the ball. When she gets on the ball, things can happen for DC Power. Duong wraps this ball around, and too much on that for Finch. We've played a half hour in this match. It is 1-0. Dallas out in front on the goal from Ubagagu on a free kick in the 24th minute. Every Wednesday, listen to the USL Super League Game Week, a deep dive into all things Super League with host Marion Crowder and Anna Weddy. Follow along all season on the Sirius XM app. That ball goes out of play. Another good build coming here for Dallas. Gracie Bryan. Ubagagu splits two defenders, weaves toward the touchline, throws it through the middle. It's a great touch from Hinson. She's denied by Gay. The runs right now from Dallas just so clever. DC do not have answers. But I also think they're capitalizing on the fact that DC Power are without Claire Constant in their back line, of course, on international duty with the Haitian national team. And Phil Nana's told us she is the glue of this back line. And when you lose a player like that, organization is difficult. And when you're playing against a dynamic front line with all this movement, without your rock in the back, tough blow.
And credit right now to Adelaide Gay. She's made some big saves as well. Otherwise, this could easily be at least 2, if not 3.
There's been 2 or 3 fantastic point-blank saves, reaction saves, and she's a goalkeeper. It's going to feel hard done by. Anytime you pick the ball out the back of the net, even if it's from a world-class goal, it hurts. But what she has done is she hasn't let it get to her, and since conceding, she's made 2 really important saves that keep this game still close.
Gear up, Dallas Trinity FC fans. Show your team spirit, and with exclusive merchandise. Customizable jerseys are available now. Scan the QR code now to shop for the latest collection and support the team in style. Ball rolls, a foot race. Tamara gets a piece to keep it alive, and then a foul is whistled as Amber Diorio was shielding.
To me, that felt like a 50-50, but Tamara's obviously got a far bigger frame, so anytime she goes in with those 50-50s, she's probably going to win the battle. But it's good to see her getting involved in those areas again. She's a player that Willie McDonald's told us her English isn't perfect. She wants to learn. She's really integrated herself into this group marvelously, and it's great to see her work rate on the field.
A good chance, perhaps building. Fitch hustles, doesn't win the race against Walker. She gets it out of play. Defending has been crisp so far from Dallas, despite the fact that both teams, in terms of the numbers at least, fairly similar in these entries into the final third.
They are, and that's what's been exciting for DC Power. They've looked good when they've got the ball into these attacking areas. They have spent time in the attacking third. The issue has been that end product, whether it be chemistry, whether it be that lack of cohesiveness, not on the same page. They have to find a way when they are in the final third to find that final pass to somebody that's going to be able to find a shot on frame, because they've been in the area, but they've only had the one shot, and that's the biggest red flag right now for Phil Nana's side.
Ball rolls out after Kurosaki was chasing after it. Yeah, those ingredients in the attack, that's such a challenge for these sides. Katie Duong leads all players in those final third entries that you were just mentioning, but ultimately in the end, it just hasn't quite found that last pieces. They only have one shot in this game.
And some of that is because this front line doesn't always play together. They're playing in different areas of the pitch. We're seeing Loza Ribera having to drop far deeper, and we were talking about her positional role. She wants to play with her back to goal. She wants to be a hold-up player, but Phil Nana is asking for more from her, and that can be hard for Duong when she's playing with a player that isn't necessarily completely comfortable in this style of play. Duong doesn't necessarily have the option to find the passing lane constantly to Loza Ribera.
DC Power be able to find something before halftime, or at the very least keep this at 1-0. Twice in the spring season, they have equalized after the 83rd minute to turn a loss into a draw, so trying to keep things close for the time being.
I think that tells you about the mentality of this side, and that's something that Phil Nana preaches, that they're a side that's never going to give up.
Here's a long distance chance. White gets back though and catches, and sometimes when you're just looking for a jolt, something like that could be it.
You know, I don't mind it from Kurosaki. At least it's on target. It makes Madison White think twice. And now what that's going to do for the goalkeeper is push her back a little bit deeper, because she doesn't want to take those risks, which then invites you for a splitting pass.
Good gobble here by Gay. Obagagu once again was challenging the area. When you look at this DC team for the season, they have only led for 116 minutes all year out of the nearly 1,700 minutes played.
It's been a really tough season for them, honestly, but I do think they look revitalized, and I think that Phil Nana has a lot of very, very good ideas, and there are patches of them, but they have to do it for 90 minutes to get a result.
This ball goes in, swarming. Duong sends it away as Dallas, 10 first half shots, eye a chance to get a second before halftime.
But Pauline McDonald won't be happy with the fact that of those 10 shots, only 3 have been on the target. If she wants to be hypercritical, which she's a coach with high standards, and rightly so with the players on her side, she's going to be a little frustrated with some of the good-looking opportunities that have gone away, because you want to make sure you're putting this game to bed and not allowing DC Power to believe.
Lancaster in. Cleared out by Fitch. Davison. Tamara. Tamara sprints around one, sprints to the touchline, swings this in, and it's Adelaide Gay catching.
And she's backing up Phil Nana. Phil Nana said, despite her size, she's a goalkeeper that is going to dominate inside her 6 to 12 yards of the 18-yard box. She shows that exactly well there. She's had a great top hand save and then a very good moment of coming to dominate in her 6.
This ball is poked away. Here's Lancaster. Lancaster blasts this ball wide left.
So we get another look at this moment here. It's a turnover again from DC Power, and Karen Lancaster, I've said it once, I'll say it twice, and I'm sure it won't be the last time I say it. If you give her an opportunity to strike a ball, she's going to strike it, and it won't be far long until she finishes one.
A sprint here from Hinson, but it's Wolfbauer winning the race. Sarah waits, draws the attention of two defenders. The pressure forcing DC to retreat all the way back inside of its own 18.
And that's credit to Trinity and their defensive structure and their high press, which Tamara's won this one back.
And here's Thornton. Finds herself in space as she goes into the box and then hits that ball right into the head of Diorio. And it rolls out for a corner kick.
That's really brave from Diorio. Just getting in the way of Ali Thornton's strike, not something that many people want to do when she's got 9 goals on the season and can strike the ball with venom. You can see now Diorio just struggling a little bit after that contact, and I think this will be stopped to get a look at, because anytime, as we've mentioned before, you get any sort of contact in the face, you've got to go through that protocol to make sure she's okay to continue.
Already a shallow bench from DC Power. A few teenagers available off the bench tonight. The experience just isn't quite there.
Well, they say there's no experience like game experience, but sometimes throwing a player into the deep end can be really, really tough. You can have those sink or swim moments, but you also want to protect young players and make sure you're putting them into opportunities to succeed. And in conversations I've had with Phil Nana earlier on in this season, he said about his young players, he tells them to go out there and enjoy themselves, that it's the same game that they've played growing up. There's 2 goals, there's 1 ball, but at the same time, he's all about nurturing these players, giving them an opportunity at the right time. And the right time isn't when you're forced into a potential sub. So he'll be hoping right now, as everyone for DC Power will, that Amber Diorio is going to be okay to continue, because you've already had to make changes to this back line. You don't have Claire Constant present, off on international duty. You don't have other players that maybe would have slotted in, likes of Charlie Escort, away with the Welsh national team, who plays as a defensive-minded player as well. So you want to try and keep things as consistent as possible in your defensive unit as possible.
So Diorio will have to stand on the sideline for this corner kick. It's the 4th of the match for Trinity.
Which is again tough now, because you've got a numerical disadvantage with the player having to go off while defending a set piece.
Gagu hits it in. Brooks squats down, heads, and it goes out. How do you assess this one? If somebody's just tuning in right now, how would you describe why we're sitting at 1-0 in favor of Dallas?
Because Dallas Trinity is clinical in the right moments, and also they have Chioma Ubagagu, who can strike a dead ball like nobody's business. So I've been really impressed with the opportunities that Dallas Trinity have created. I would also say that Dallas Trinity are going to be frustrated that they haven't been able to push the scoreline larger, because you have to take advantage of your opportunities when you have them. For DC Power, they'll be excited in a lot of ways to still be in this game. It's 1-0, anything can happen.
Ubagagu chases after this, and she hits it high. She's been the best player on the field in the first half, and nearly had a second.
She absolutely has been brilliant today, but it's another opportunity that a player of her caliber will be disappointed to have not made this match 2-0. You've mentioned DC Power's resilience, the fact that they've been really good towards the ends of games. It's getting those pesky equalizers. Pauline McDonald will be well aware of that statistic. She'll be telling her players at halftime, we have to put this game to bed. If you leave DC Power open, if you give them a lifeline, if they believe they can get back into this game, they have quality on this field to punish you.
Once again, DC can't get past midfield.
We've talked a lot about the forward line, and rightly so with Dallas Trinity. You can't ignore it. But that defensive midfield structure, the organization of the press, you mentioned they're suffocating DC Power. They're preventing them, even with the final third entries, getting that final end product. And that's a credit to the workhorses in that defensive unit.
Into the 45th minute. DC's still been held down in the attack. Bagagu hits this ball forward. Thornton tries to get the angle. Wolfbauer lays it back. Fitch from her backside. Gorley comes back and commits the foul.
Correct call from the referee, who's placed herself really well to see this foul. Gorley, a bit of a foul out of frustration. It's another one of those fouls that isn't necessary, sets up an opportunity to deliver a ball in. The player isn't going anywhere, and Gorley allows them an opportunity now to put Chioma Ubagagu over another dead ball and to serve it in. So it's that decision making, even when you're frustrated, which Gorley rightly will be. She hasn't seen much of the ball at all, but she's got to find that composure to know not to commit that foul.
3 minutes of stoppage time in the first half. Ubagagu in and over. Everybody out for a goal kick. Pauline McDonald said that Ubagagu still acts like a young player with that passion and desire at 32 years of age, well-traveled. Time with Arsenal in the NWSL, Real Madrid, Tottenham, and back in the Super League with this chance to play yet again, as she's been a pro for 10+ years.
And she plays like she loves the game, which she does. And anytime you travel the world to get an opportunity to play the beautiful game, you have a love for it. And with every team, every stop, she's learned different things. And she can play young and infectious with the energy, but she also has that veteran soul, that understanding of games and the understanding of big moments. What a great presence to have in your locker room if you're Dallas Trinity.
Former #1 recruit in the country. And before going to Stanford, has the lone goal in this match. Chioma Ubagagu scoring in the 24th minute, a free kick. That's just a world-class take, and that is the lone goal in this one, despite the fact that Dallas have had over a dozen shots so far in the first half. Dallas have scored 4 first-half stoppage time goals on the year. They have been ruthless in these moments, but Brooks is called for the foul.
And Brooks leads on and off the field. I just love her physicality, her determination, her energy. Just watch her right now sprinting back to get back behind the ball, even though she's gassed, even though it's stoppage time.
Finch swings this ball in. White, who hasn't been asked to do a ton tonight, is aggressive and catches that.
But that's the toughest thing about being a goalkeeper sometimes. You might not see the ball for 47 minutes, but you have to be focused. You have to be ready to go. You have to be sharp in those rare moments you're called upon. There's a reason why she leads the league in clean sheets, and it's because she has an ability to stay focused, to find ways to be in the game, even if she doesn't have the ball in and around her during the match.
Closing in on the first half whistle. Dallas Trinity looking to bounce back after that loss to Carolina on Saturday. There is the first half whistle, and Dallas Trinity lead 1-0 at halftime. Chioma Ubagagu's free kick in the 24th minute have the Trinity out in front by 1-0 margin. And Jesse, look at this match. DC need to find some attacking presence, while Dallas on the other side has to be confident, but they very much need a second to get that separation.
Well, I said the first goal would be the most important, and I still stand by that. I think DC Power had momentum, but once they conceded that goal, they dropped off completely, and they weren't able to find any moments. For Dallas Trinity, it's more of the same needed in that second half, but being clinical to build on that first goal.
And we join The captain of Dallas Trinity, Amber Brooks, right now. And Amber, you come off of that loss to Carolina the other day. How do you assess this team's performance through 45 minutes?
Happy with it. We're happy that, we had a quick turnaround. Got a good goal, but we gotta keep going. We gotta put 2, 3, 4 in the back of the net. Nothing's a safe lead in this league.
When you saw the foul drawn in the area of the pitch, congratulations on drawing that foul, by the way, and you see Chioma step up to take it. Did you always know it was goal bound? Have you seen her do that in practice?
Yeah, she's got a great left foot. The rest of us, our responsibility is just to crash the net, get the seconds. But, yeah, unbelievable. Great goal.
Amber, thanks so much for the time. Best of luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Dallas Trinity have the advantage on the home pitch. Looking for its third win in the last 4 matches. Chioma Obagagu scores in the 24th minute. Halftime presented by Stardog Entertainment comes your way next.
Success doesn't come easy. It takes grit, hustle, and relentless effort. Every step forward brings you closer to greatness. This is your moment. Elevate your game. El Jimador Spiked Bebidas.
Corbin in defending. Ramirez is in behind the keeper and scores!
Marley Canal is with the shot. Cross, sprinter's in, tapped home.
Bedoya launches and tucks it into the top right-hand corner. Whoa! Dang man! By Alpaisi.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
It is not the critic who counts, not the one who points out how the strong woman stumbles, or where the doer or deeds could have done better. The credit belongs to the woman who is actually in the arena, so that her place shall never be with those cold and timid souls, who knew neither victory nor defeat.
This is UT Southwestern Medical Center, and this is where a spark happens. This is the teamwork that fuels it, the mentors who shape it. And this is where it comes together, with this care team connecting the dots, all leading up to this moment right here at UT Southwestern, where discoveries change lives. And this spark is just the beginning. Follow your spark at UT Southwestern, the future of medicine today.
Move freely and feel the support with compression Z leggings designed for ultimate comfort and recovery. Our premium compression wear helps relieve muscle soreness, promotes better circulation, and supports your every movement. Made with breathable, moisture-wicking fabric that stays odor-resistant and keeps you cool no matter how hard you push. Experience the difference with Compression Z. Use code Trinity20 to get your 20% off at www.compressionz.com.
It's a 1-0 edge for Trinity at the half. As your halftime presented by Stardog Entertainment. Michael and Jess back with you in USL Super League. Closing in on 2 months to go in the season, and we have our final Florida Derby. It's Fort Lauderdale and Tampa Bay, and then the playoff dates have been announced. June 7th will be the weekend to start off, and the final will be slated for June 14th. Exciting times there, and this Golden Boot race is starting to get interesting as well.
Well, I can't wait to see if the Golden Boot race takes a twist or a turn today. Keep eyes on Ali Thornton, because she is playing very well so far, but hasn't found too many moments in front of frame. That Florida Derby, 3 draws. There's got to be a deadlock broken this weekend.
Yeah, somebody's got to win that Derby here this weekend, and you take a look at it, that'll be Saturday night at 7 o'clock. Remember, there's a game tomorrow night, Spokane and Brooklyn, and then, of course, Lexington and Dallas. But you look at that Spokane and Brooklyn. Spokane playing better. Brooklyn have not won in a very long time.
Well, Brooklyn have just struggled all spring long with getting that elusive first victory. It's been heartbreaking for them. They've come so close, most recently against Tampa Bay Sun, pulled back in stoppage time. Can they get over that hump? But against Spokane, who knows? Because as you mentioned, they're a side that's trying to push up the table.
Of course, all matches streaming on Peacock. Here at halftime, it's Dallas 1, DC Power 0. When we come back, we'll look at the halftime highlights and stats before we start the second half.
Championships and even held a world record. About 3 minutes ago, I saw this dog napping on a very comfortable bed. And now look at her, she's out here doing this. Oh yeah. And yes, we did have to hide the soccer balls because that is her favorite ball. But there's another one! Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Blooper. The first dog you saw tonight, Zilla, is an 8-year-old Malinois who you may have seen on various social media sites with hundreds of millions of views overall. She may be known for her wild, chattering, and crazy antics online, but Zilla is also Lindsay's service dog, helping her with many aspects of her life. She's a sweet girl who loves to meet her fans, and if she really likes you, will try to sit in your lap. Check out Zilla's teeth if you get a chance. She has a grill with titanium crowns on her canines. How many of you have titanium crowns on your canines? Not this guy. That's right, Blooper. Blooper's an 8-year-old, also known as the Flying Muppet. We say if Jim Henson made a border collie, it would be Blooper. Oh, get there. I call that a catch. Blooper is a border collie, border terrier, Malinois, and Whippet mix. He's had 4 homes, but has been with Lindsay since he was a year old, and is a very, very happy boy.
Our Star Dog Entertainment halftime report is showcasing some of our 4-legged friends with their athleticism on the pitch here tonight, giving the fans something to entertain themselves. And a great catch there, and it was a great first half if you're a home fan. Dallas Trinity getting the opening chance, and this coming from the Golden Boot leader, Allie Thornton, in the 5th minute, nearly bagged a 10.
Was a great start early on for Dallas Trinity. Allie Thornton given that look, in the end opted to drag it near post. Goalkeeper had it covered.
And then in the 16th minute, it was Cameron Lancaster. It's a good run and nearly another goal.
But you can't afford to back off Cameron Lancaster and give her that time to be able to pick her head up, look for her spot, almost curving in last moment.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to knuckle in there for just a moment, and continuously knocking on the door, but finally in the 24th minute, it's the captain, Amber Brooks, with a run, drawing the foul, and then Chioma Obagagu brilliant finish.
Absolutely remarkable. I mean, look at that. Not many words to say for that, not many superlatives you can give it, but that's a stunning free kick. And the way her side celebrate, I think they knew she had it in her locker.
Obagagu scoring for the 4th time this season, and it's a separator, but in the end, the numbers bear out dominance for Dallas Trinity. The problem, 1-0 the advantage. They could use some separation against a advantageous DC side.
Paulie McDonald's going to look at that 14 shots, 4 on target, and be a little bit concerned. Phil Nana wished he could have 14 shots. He's going to ask his sides, we have to create more looks in front of goal to fight back, but it's 1-0, anything can happen.
Halftime in Dallas. It is DC Power trailing at the break. Our second half kick comes your way when we come back. Will DC be able to get back in the game? Find out next.
Dallas Trinity would also like to thank our vendors at tonight's match. Tonight, we'd like to thank you for all of their support. A huge shout out to Hollywood B, Briscoe Rough Riders, Lala, Star Dog Entertainment, Susie Snackshot, Doodle Rock Rescue, Six Fix, Gray's Training and Recovery, Licks, and Shake Shack. Make sure to check out all of these organizations in the fan zone tonight. Thanks again for all of your support, and let's go, DTFC.
Getting ready to start the second half of action here in the USL Super League and the kickstart to week 27 in the USL Super League. Michael Watrang and Jess Jarman back with you. And we have a goal. It's from Chioma Obagagu, but one of the best goal scorers in the league this year, Allie Thornton, with 9 of them for the year. 3-horse race, but Tosh Flint coming on strong. Jasmine Hamid has had some strong matches. Who wants this Golden Boot race victory?
Who wants it, Michael? Everybody wants it. but it's about who can have that consistency of scoring. And I think what's interesting about all these players is they have gone through those phases of scoring goals. Ali Thornton has kind of been one of the more consistent players that has picked up goals here, there, everywhere. She needs to get on the ball more today, though. We haven't spoken enough about Ali Thornton since that 5th-minute opportunity, which was dragged into the side netting. Got to find more ways to get her involved in and around the 18-yard box.
DC is making one change at halftime. It's going to be Emily Colton coming in. Emily Colton is coming in at halftime. The 21-year-old replaces Loza Abera.
Michael, I wonder if that's a fitness thing, because Phil Nana was very clear that Loza Abera hasn't quite got up to a full 90 minutes of game fitness yet. This was a tough game for her. She wasn't seeing opportunities on the ball. She was trying to put in that work rate of getting back defensively, so perhaps good to bring on the fresh legs of Emily Colton.
Trinity wearing the maroon kits tonight. It's the blue kits for DC Power. And our second half of action with Dallas leading DC 1-0. Getting ready to get started here in the Cotton Bowl. Alyssa Nichols checks. Waiting for this half to get ready. Everyone's ready on the field. Just waiting for that clearance, and now it looks like we have to get Colton officially in the match. Yes, the 4th official has to get that sign up to officially make the substitution, and now we're underway in half number 2. Dallas leading it 1-0, looking for a home victory for the 5th time this season. And here's Thornton, unable to work it around. Lancaster chases after it. Lancaster drifts to the right, trying to get the edge against Bagley, unable to do so. Michael Watring, Jess Charman, and our entire group with you. Come in and stay a while with us as Gorley sprints through the middle, gets bumped away by Dorsey. That's a dynamic that she brings to this team, something that they very much need right now.
She gets you off of your seat. Anytime Gorley is running, splitting defenders, you're on the edge of the seat, excited, expecting something to happen. And what's good for DC Power is if Gorley's anywhere 18, 25 yards out, you know she has the caliber to finish from there.
Anna Bagley. This ball brought on. Bagley sprints in. Bagley has a chance, plays it to the front. There was nobody near her. And instead it's a foul in the end.
I was going to highlight Anna Bagley as a player that needed to find more opportunities in the attacking third. She was pinned back, busy defending Dallas Trinity. This is decision making. There's nobody near her. She's being backed off of. Drive to goal, take a strike. It's selflessness where she needs to be a tad bit more selfish. And I know when you're a player and you haven't seen many looks, sometimes you're nervous or you don't make the correct decision. But in those moments, a key moment for DC Power, Gorna Ray.
And for a team that has not had many goal-scoring chances, those are the moments that at least have to test Madison White.
But encouraging for DC Power this early on in the second half to have had what could have been a look-on frame.
Down, not stopping play as Colton steps over to take it. Phil Nana said that Emily Colton is the kind of player that can feed the ball between lines, something that the team very much needs. We're going to see that on display here in the second half.
And just 21 years of age, but youth national team experience with the U.S.
Tamara gets the angle, throws it through the middle. Thornton was salivating, but it just does get punched away. Thornton pops out. Bagley kicks this ball away. It goes out for a corner kick.
And I love watching Anna Bagley play. I think she's such a terrific player with high skill set, great footwork. The issue is we haven't been able to see many of those talents because she's been so busy having to defend so far this evening.
Mugagu in, a couple shuffles through. It's still bobbling near the 6. It's just chipped into an empty pocket. Colton chases after it. It's a really good slide tackle to get that ball away, but a hard collision as Colton lays right on top of the hustling move from Jenna Walker.
Yeah, this is a really tough contact here. Colton's already made a difference coming onto this pitch, coming on with that young energy, that excitement. In the end, chaotic in the box. Someone put your foot through it, clear it. In the end, they are able to clear it. And then watch this contact here. Really awkward as her head is slammed into the ground. This is not worth a revisit now. That's a horrendous, accidental challenge.
Jenna Walker spent the last couple of years with Kansas City, W's of age.
It's a challenge, though, that shows so much about her commitment and her quality. It's not a foul, it's an innocent coming together, but it just shows Walker's bravery, commitment to the cause, willingness to put her body on the line. And we're hoping she's okay because it did not make for pleasant viewing the way that her head hit the turf after the contact.
Pauline McDonald looking on, dealing with a couple injuries as it is, a couple international call-ups. Celie Strawn with the U.S. Youth National Team, and McGeehan with Costa Rica. To her feet goes Jenna Walker. The sport can definitely be a contact sport at times, and you really have to be brave to put yourself in some of these challenges.
Physical, very physical game, and honestly, I've loved that as part of the Super League, though. The physicality that the players bring, the competitiveness and the desire on the field, and you hear it with the crowd urging players on. I mean, the atmosphere is second to none.
Walker back on the field. Stay up to date with the USL Super League. Sign up for the Super newsletter. Get news about your favorite team and stories from around the league delivered directly to your inbox weekly. Sign up at uslsuperleague.com/newsletter. Setting the stage in this one. Dallas Trinity leads the league in goals. They've given up the second fewest overall for the season, one of the stronger teams. And if things end the way that they stand right now, they would catapult themselves into a tie for second on the league table. Meanwhile, DC came in on the bottom looking up at everyone else on the league table. A team that is winless in its last 5, the second longest run in the Super League. Only Brooklyn have gone longer without a win. But DC also dealing with 5 players on international duty that consist of 39 starts between that group. Here's Colton, the halftime substitute, tries to make something happen here and draws a foul. So an immediate impact here for the sub.
And what Colton's doing a great job of is connecting the midfield and the forward line. She wants the ball and she's offering that outlet. And every time she gets the ball, she's confident in her touches. She knows where she's going with the ball. There's a purpose there. And then to draw a free kick, well, we've already seen what can happen when you get free kicks in dangerous areas this evening.
Here's Katie DeWong. Well, you predicted earlier, Mugagu great on a set piece. You said DeWong is magical as well. A sign of foreshadowing, perhaps. It's Colton instead, wrapping this ball around to the back post and unable to hit anybody in a blue kit.
That's a frustrating one for DC Power. When you haven't been able to create many opportunities from the run of play, you've had 2 shots in the entirety of the game. when you get a chance from a dead ball 20 yards or so from frame, you have to utilize it to test Madison White in goal. You have to force her to make a save, and you haven't been able to do that.
Phil Nana spoke about something that they do a lot within their camp. It's called flow state. It's when an athlete isn't thinking too much, they're not worrying about the fans, tactics, the coach, and the game is just natural. He spoke highly of their sports psychologist and the mental side of the game. But in reality, everybody's a human, and when you're dealing through these slow times, you do start to press a little bit. You do start to overemphasize things. But the investment that they're putting into that sports psychologist, important for matches like these.
And that's where the modern game is developing. I think the understanding of the psychological aspect of the game, and that you have to take care of a complete player. We know about the physio side of things. We know about treating injuries. We know about technical ability. But once you treat a complete player and realize that the mental state, particularly when you're going through tough patches, is so important, it really helps take care of the player. And you love to see it, and I'm really grateful that Phil Dana is so transparent with us as well about the pros and the cons of what this side is going through right now.
It's worked in this spring season twice. In the last 10 minutes, they have changed a loss into a draw. They have hung around in this game despite being bombarded with Dallas shots in this contest. They're still only down by a goal and starting to find a little bit of rhythm in their attack, but Hinson has other ideas for Dallas. Lancaster gets shielded by Youngo.
And I think one of the biggest improvements for DC Power is they're not being blown out in the spring season. They always feel competitive in games. It always feels like they will get that opportunity. And that's a huge testament to the mental state, to the belief, and to the game management of this side, that they're keeping games compact and within reach of an equalizer.
He also mentioned that they go in almost 6-week cycles with their training. Everything's pre-planned. That way, if a match happens and something negative might occur, or something positive that maybe they need to work on, they're not going to overemphasize that in the next week of training because it's mostly pre-planned. They do make tweaks on the fly as the week goes along, but it's typically built-in cycles.
And something I liked hearing as well as a former player is the fact that a lot of their conversations are individualized. When you've made a mistake, you don't want your entire team to watch your film in the locker room and make you feel worse about yourself. He said that if they're having a consistent issue, they'll sit down with the player and talk to them one-on-one. And for me, I feel like it's far easier to receive that criticism, that constructive criticism, when you're in a one-on-one with your coach versus in front of everybody. And that's coming from someone that maybe got shown a highlight reel or two by with my group in front of me. I'd have rather had it by myself.
Off the throw, it's a cross coming in from Davison. Colton unable to knock that away from Tamara, and a second phase now. Omagagu is offside by just a yard.
But that was an area that Tamara was talked about by Pauline McDonald needing to improve on, the defensive side of the ball. And I think today, across the first near hour of play, Tamara's been very good at getting back into defensive areas, recovering balls for this Trinity side. So a huge moment of growth for the Brazilian.
Well, the second half has much been the strong suit for DC. 10 of their 14 goals this year have come in half number 2. 6 of those 10 have come after the 83rd minute. Here comes the attack once more of Dorsey, with choices to make, and instead it's given away. Dallas forced to recover. Gorley hunts this ball, and it's well handled by Jenna Walker, who picked up that knock a few moments ago.
Yeah, great to see her back on her feet and reading the plays well. Also shout out to the athletic training team, of course, who were able to assess her and clear her to get back into the action. But Gawley might not have seen the ball too much, but what she's doing well is making those runs and forcing Trinity's back line to panic a little bit more.
Bagley switches fields with this ball. Fitch hits that. Did it hit a hand? Instead, it's Bagley touching this around. Bagley tries to find a pocket, leaves it back. Duong glides it over. Fitch launches this ball in, and Madison White covers this. Promising moment from DC, though.
It's a much improved phase of play for DC Power, though, as Anna Bagley trying to find an outlet of space. Love the movement from Duong, and then Fitch with a dangerous strike in the end, straight down into the stomach of Madison White in goal. But it's more creative from DC Power. They've definitely been better, as seems to be a trend this spring after their halftime conversations.
Another takeaway. More assertive DC side in half number 2.
But this is what keeping a game close does for you. When you're able to keep a game close, you can have this element of belief. You can have this resurgence in the second half because you see the hope of getting back into the game. If DC were 3-0 down, it would be a lot harder to encourage these players to believe in yourself, to know that you're within such a fine margin.
DC have played the fewest games in the league. They played, tonight is their 19th. A couple other teams sitting on 19 as well. So there are points available for this team if DC Power can surge in the final 7 weeks of the year. That ball ricochets off of one. Brooks gets taken down and a foul given. Brooks wants to go quick on the restart. Obagagu over the top of everybody. Hunts this down to the chalk. Throws it through the middle. There's Thornton. A second go at it. Hinson, the chest of Gay. Booked tonight, the 27-year-old from Illinois.
As we get a re-look at the initial opportunity, a great cutback by Ubagagu. Thornton couldn't get a clean look on it because of the tackle from Yango. I love the move from the goalkeeper, Gay, to bowl this one out right away to get it underway. And tough one for Davison to get called for a yellow card. That felt like a 50-50 ball. Both players at it in a very similar style.
Davison had an argument, too, that maybe the guilty party there was in different colored jersey.
Fans, the referee has issued a caution to Dallas
Tamara
in the 61st minute.
juggles.
Number 2, Hannah Davison.
Now out towards midfield. Brooks. Foul given. And there is one there after the fact.
It's the late whistle that causes the frustration out of DC Power as Lancaster able to draw a free kick. It's definitely getting chippy, these two teams, leaving it out on the field in every shape possible. And this is when you need the referee, Alyssa Nichols, to be consistent in these moments and probably try and be a little sharper on that whistle to prevent things going out of hand. But refereeing's a difficult job, so I try to not criticize too much because I know I wouldn't want that whistle.
Chioma Obagagu plays this forward. It's Dorsey right back for the goal scorer in this match. Dorsey with choices, lofts it in. Angular header out wide from Brooks.
Brooks told us at halftime, didn't she, that we need to finish our opportunities. They're unable to hit that one on target. The issue is, though, when you've got a header 18 yards from frame, it's going to take a perfect header or a goalkeeping error to end up in the back of the net. So maybe thinking about taking that one down to find a different type of shot or finding a flick onto somebody else from that region.
Michael Watring, Jess Sharman, and our crew with you here on this Wednesday evening in Dallas, watching this USL Super League match on Peacock with you. Dallas Trinity scoring in the 24th minute. Chioma Obagagu with a worldie of a free kick. Her 4th of the year. The difference in this match right now, these two teams have played to draws in each of the first 2 meetings. Wolfbauer chases. Adelaide Gay comes over to pick it up. Dallas Trinity FC fans, do you want the inside scoop? Sign up for our newsletter to receive the latest news, merchandise promotions, and exclusive updates. Scan the QR code now to join. Substitutions being prepared along the sideline, and it looks like Dallas is going to make another change. Natalie Wagner is coming in, and the goal scorer, Obagangu, is coming out.
And I think part of the reason you're going to take Obagangu out at this moment is the quick turnaround for your weekend matchup. Important to rest, recuperate. You want to make sure that she's fresh and ready to go next time there's action. Bring on some fresh legs. Bring on somebody that wants to try and prove themselves as well. And Wagner, just 17 years of age. This is her second appearance. I love the fact that Pauline McDonald isn't afraid to give young players opportunities on the pitch.
A 17-year-old comes onto the field for this side. Natalie Wagner is in. This is a youth group. Wagner committed to play at Arkansas when she graduates here in just a couple months from high school.
And that's something that the USL Super League is doing so well with these academy contracts, giving players an opportunity to play at the highest level, to get opportunities to grow from veteran presences, professional players, train in a professional environment while still maintaining the opportunity to complete their collegiate education and eligibility down the line.
And a chance to learn from some of the veterans of this sport in this country, like an Amber Brooks, and Adelaide Gay, a veteran in her own right for DC Power. Brooks has that ball taken away. Gorley searches. And how about Lancaster defending, more known for her attacking ability, positions herself well.
And I just love Lancaster's versatility. We were told she can play as an 8, a 10, a 9. Wherever you want to put her, Cameron Lancaster will shine and give you 1,000% effort. She displays it there. Not only fighting back to defend, but then the smartness to slow down her run a little bit, draw the contact, and allow her side to reset with the dead ball.
DC leading the possession number, but that maybe doesn't tell the story tonight, as Dallas has certainly been the aggressor tonight, out shooting DC 15-5. Foul given. Kurosaki, the one injured. Nana searching for answers for this group, trying to equalize this game. Into the box it goes, skimming off of the head and nearly latching onto it, Diorio. Not able to get to it in time, but clever nevertheless. After this match, 5 of the next 7 will be at home for DC Power. That's going to be critical for this team if they want to make a push towards the playoff line. And one area that Phil Nana continued to harp on, he said it several times, game management. How do they manage games? And specifically mentioning that twice in the spring, they've either taken the lead or come back to tie a game, and within 5 minutes, they've conceded. So a good sign tonight that they've been able to keep this at 1-0. Now, how do they take that next step? Manage the game out, keep it 1-0, and find a way to get an equalizer.
Yeah, I think that's what he'll be most satisfied about. He's going to be disappointed again with the manner that they conceded a goal, giving away a free kick, then Dallas Trinity being able to capitalize on it. But the fact they didn't let their heads drop, catastrophize, panic, concede 2-3 in quick succession where Dallas Trinity were knocking on the door is very encouraging. They've kept the game close. they've improved considerably in the second half of play, but now you've got just over 20 minutes left to really take it up the next notch. And I think it's telling that he hasn't really gone to the bench bar the Colton sub at half-time, because he wants to give this group an opportunity to grow on the field together, particularly considering they hadn't had time to build chemistry in previous games. So don't make too many changes to break up what is working in moments right now.
Aggressive play there by Colton, gets it away, but Saki able to get to it. Gorley chases. This back. Goes out here for a throw. Stay informed about all things Super League. Visit USLSuperLeague.com for all the latest information, analysis, and insight into the league. Colton punches that ball away.
What a difference she's made.
Go. It back. A shifty move here from Duong. Colton tries to get space, leaves it right behind Duong. The ideas are better as well from Colton.
Yeah, absolutely love that idea. Bright movement, and she's getting on the ball more. She's just a bit more dynamic. Abera is a very talented player, no doubt about it. She's played with the Ethiopian national team. She just is a different player profile. And right now this game is calling for a more dynamic player to help connect between the lines. So a really smart halftime substitution from Phil Nana to bring in Colton, because she really has brightened this DC Power line.
DC Power have only given up one goal in the final 20 minutes of matches all season long. And Dallas to make another change. It's going to be Deborah Abiodun. Comes in, and it's Gracie Bryan coming out.
I think this is just about fresh legs in the midfield area.
Substitution for Trinity FC in the 71st minute. Entering the pitch, number 6, Deborah Abiodun. Leaving the pitch, number 17,
Tamara.
Gracie Bryan.
Slices that out. Well, when you look at this DC side, it has been a little bit of a hit and miss window of time. And very first match, they were outshot by Carolina 17-3, but they settled for a 3-3 draw on that one. Then 21-8 in shots. They had 14 in their next game, but they only had 5 in their most recent one, and they're sitting on 5 again tonight. So it's been boom or bust for this team in the attack, and trying to find that cohesion for this new group. Not easy with the international call-ups and the challenges that this league presents. This is just their 5th match of the spring.
It's really hard when you can't have that consistency. And again, the international break or the call-ups is fantastic. It's fantastic for DC Power to be able to recruit players with that experience. It's great for those players individually, be able to represent their nation, to grow and connect with the communities wherever they're representing the country. But in the same vein, it's a tough pill to swallow if you're a DC Power fan when you're missing some of your most experienced, exciting products. I've been impressed with the way that several of these players have stepped up and been able to raise to the occasion and the opportunity. But I think Phil Nana would be really hoping a player like Claire Constant was available today, because as he's mentioned time and time again, he raves about Claire Constant and what she brings to this back line.
This ball lofted over the top. Tamara whips this ball and hits the crossbar. Inches away from making it 2-0.
Well, Tamara is still cooking in this second half. A great ball forwards, settles with the chest. It's a good strike from a difficult angle. I thought Gay had got a touch on it, but she didn't there. In the end, rattles the woodwork.
This cross, high arcs into the night. Thornton waits. It's a good hustle by Yengo. Yengo will need some medical assistance here. She took a knock.
And I think it's cramp after that good hustle that you mentioned. She had a recovery sprint in, and you can see her teammate right now trying to stretch out the back of her calves. It's a fantastic hustle against Ali Thornton, going in for that slide tackle. The minute she does, she just lands a little awkwardly. So I think it's a combination, as she landed very awkwardly on that calf area, that she's now getting looked at.
Taking a look at the standings as they sit right now, Dallas have jumped right into the picture. And with a game in hand, it's a team right now that has the inside track perhaps at winning the regular season's top spot.
And the additional part about it, of course, as we saw the playoff schedule being announced, you want to host. You want that home field advantage. You want your fans to have an opportunity to turn out, to be the 12th player advantage. But also you don't want to have to deal with all the travel. So those top two places, paramount when you think about it, for that extra advantage when it comes to inaugural season playoffs.
Thornton. Well, Yengo is being helped off the field right now along the sideline. The way that she is being assisted, looks like she might not be able to return tonight.
Which is really tough because she's an engine. She's an experienced engine in the middle of the park, works really hard at breaking down plays, and you do hope it is just a cramp.
Dorsey backspins this ball. Gay catches. Don't miss out, Trinity fans. There are only 3 more home matches this season, so make your plans now to be at all of them. Join us for our next home match. That's on April 19th against Fort Lauderdale United FC as we celebrate our abilities. Get your tickets now by scanning the QR code or by sending an email to tickets@DallasTrinityFC.com. Dallas with 18 shots in this game, 5 on target. They need to work hard perhaps for these 3 points tonight. Here's a chase. Colton blazing off. It's Gorley jabbing. Gorley launches this ball. It's another crossbar. Second go at it. Bagley tries to drift it out wide, and in the blink of an eye, that's the skill that Gianna Gorley has.
Oh, just how close can you get? Gianna Gorley with all the power, had Madison White beat, just couldn't dip it under the crossbar. But DC Power growing and growing right now in this game. Their only issue is the fact that the clock keeps ticking.
Both sides have now hit a crossbar in the last 5 minutes. Bagley bounces this ball across. It's the captain, Fitch, tracking it down. Fitch. Cross, whips in. Colton wants a piece. Too much on that touch. And it rolls out. And now we're going to get changes for each side. We're going to see the debut of the 17-year-old from Fairfax, Carrie Helfrich, the University of Virginia commit, replaces Grace Yango. And Tamara comes out as well. She's replaced by Jenny Danielson.
DC Power have had some really good success with their young players, most memorably Ali Flanagan, who of course scored a brace on her debut. So they've had opportunities with young players. They're not afraid to give them chances, and a great chance today for Carrie Helfrich in what could be a really important moment.
There she is, Helfrich, who represented the US U17 team at the 2024 CONCACAF U17 Championships. 3 starts in that one. Had the opening goal against Puerto Rico. Emily Colton made an impact. Will Helfrich do the same? Here's Thornton. 80th minute of play. We still sit at 1-0 in favor of Dallas Trinity. All the first half shots, 14 of them in the opening 45. And the lone goal coming off of a free kick that was set up by Amber Brooks. A lengthy run. Chioma Obagangu scoring from about 25 yards away with that powerful left foot. DC Power have had chances in this second half. They hit a crossbar moments ago, but still scoreless, looking for their first win since November 23rd. Michael Wattrang, Jess Charman, and our crew with you riding this one out here in the USL Super League on this Wednesday. Here's this ball along the left. It's Hinton. Lays it back for Danielson. Thornton throws this through the middle. Abioden cannot slow it down. Duong takes over. Duong plays it up. On the turn, it's Kurosaki. Over the head of Gorley. Colton brings it in. Ricochets it off of Lancaster and cannot continue the run. Less than 10 minutes for DC to try to escape from this one. With a point. Strength here by Kurosaki. Gorley, and the foul is given.
Kurosaki, a really physical, skillful player that is able to utilize really nifty feet, but at the same time not afraid to use her body to shield the possession. A really dangerous combination, and does well to draw the free kick.
6 of DC Power's 14 goals this year have come after the 83rd minute. Is this the moment that they pull level in this one on the road against Trinity? Katie Duong lines this up. Ensures that she's on the right page with the coaching staff and her teammates. Duong carries this ball in. There's nobody over in that direction. Lancaster just watches it go out.
There's been 2 of those now. Really wasted opportunities from the set piece. And a player of Duong's ability, we know how dangerous she can be off set pieces. We've seen it all season long. Just has to make sure there's a communication. It's a 2-way street. Obviously the service needs to be into a good area, but the players also have to make those runs, and it felt very stagnant around that 18-yard box.
Madison White looking for her 8th clean sheet of the year. And talking about a Dallas team with the Golden Boot race leader as well as the top goalkeeper. It's a strong team and a team with eyes on getting that top spot for the playoffs that start on June 7th.
And a shutout, a clean sheet, would be such a nice way to bounce back after conceding 3 at Carolina Ascent. We mentioned that was a bit of an anomaly in the recent run of play to concede that many goals. So to be able to bounce back by being so stable defensively would be a really positive side for Paulie McDonald's side.
It'll be a visit to Lexington on Sunday. Dallas next. Meanwhile, back home next Tuesday for DC Power against Carolina Ascent. Abby Oden wins that ball back. He wants to go fast. Kurosaki gives it right back to Fitch. Fitch laces it into the backside of a teammate. Colton comes back and rescues. Substitution here for DC Power. Nicole Douglas, the 24-year-old from London, replaces Katie Duong with about 5 minutes to try to make an impact.
I'll tell you something about the Women's Championship, having spent some time in and around those teams. It's a physical league, and she's played for London City Lionesses most recently, so she won't be afraid to put in a challenge and enjoy the physical battle on the field.
Danielson shuffles this through. It's not handled all that well. Lancaster sprints, dodges a defender. Lancaster, excellent touches. And ricochets this off of the waiting legs of Diorio. That's a really good play there by Lancaster to win the corner.
I just have no idea where she finds that second win from. We're in the 87th minute and she's darting forward, taking on players. It's an engine that is so impressive. And what a great outlet to have a player that isn't ever going to give up on those plays at these moments in games.
Danielson curls this in. It's through Gay's legs. Bounces on the ground. Gay had both hands on it. It went through her hands, over to the legs, waiting over there. Julia Dorsey here at the bottom asking for VAR. Of course, we don't have that. Anna Davison had perhaps a chance, but couldn't get enough of the cleat through it.
Get another look to see the contact and what led to it. Gay mistimes her challenge a little bit, and I think Davison has a right to be complaining there. There is some contact from behind, a dangling leg from Caroline Helfrich. Crowd don't like it. DC Power, though, very relieved in this moment.
Keeps that slight glimmer available for this group to try to make something happen here in the waning moments. Here's Helfrich. Helfrich crushes this ball. And it whistles wide left.
So much respect, though, for the confidence of the young player, Halfridge, to take a shot from that moment. Wasn't too far off the mark. Would have been a dream debut if that one had found some way into the back of the goal.
2 changes coming here. You'll get Loretta Talbot, the 17-year-old Virginia commit, coming on for the 2nd time this season, and Valentina Parada, the 14-year-old who came in as a 92nd minute change at Carolina to start the spring season. So now 3 teenagers working their way onto the field. Bagley and Mernon coming out.
This is just a last-ditch saloon right now for Phil Nana, trying to throw some attacking bodies forward, trying to give players an opportunity, fresh legs. One last chance is all they're looking for. And now with this free kick, an opportunity to get things started quickly.
Here's Parada. Gets it back, splits defenders. Parada tosses it in. It gets cleared away. It's a throw.
She's not playing like a 14-year-old, is she?
Here's Helfrich. And her sights set on Colton, who does end up with it. Colton juggles against Abiodun. Karasaki chips this ball into the middle of 2 teammates. This ball ricochets all the way back and rolls out off of Diorio. Three minutes of stoppage time here in the second half.
I think DC Power had been hoping for a few more based on a couple of injuries, several substitutions. Pauline McDonald probably very relieved having turned around and seen that number on the board.
And knowing that she has to play again in just a few days after playing last Saturday. Thornton. Goes straight to the corner flag.
That's really good soccer IQ, though. The awareness of you don't need a goal. Just hold it in the corner, get this throw and drain a few more seconds off of the clock. And it's just smart, intelligent play by Ali Thornton.
Lancaster to take this throw. Not eager to go all that quickly. It's out for a goal kick with about 2 more minutes to play in this one. And if you're summarizing this matchup, you look at a Dallas side that felt like a second goal was imminent for much of the night. It never happened. They hit a crossbar in the 73rd minute against the DC side that didn't get cooking until the second half when these substitutes came on and hit a crossbar in their own right. One last opportunity. This ball whipped in. Brooks heads it out of trouble towards Danielson.
But I think to revisit that for DC Power, that's been the story of this second half of the season. Really close, good efforts, but just not a complete 90-minute performance. And they've dug their hole in that first half, conceded a goal. And then, yeah, great efforts in the second half. Lots of encouraging moments for Phil Nana's side. But unfortunately, it's not a tangible result. And that's going to be the heartbreak for DC Power. Some bright moments, but nothing to call for it.
If this stands at 1-0, it would be the 3rd time this year that DC Power have lost a road match by a 1-0 scoreline.
And it's just so difficult because road games are always going to be tough. Travel is tough, not being in your own bed, the different schedules, away fans, whatever. There's lots of components to it. But to be that close and it to be undone, it is really difficult.
Kurosaki tries to make something happen here in the last seconds. DC will have this final spell of possession to try to steal a point on the road against one of the league's top teams. Gorley hits this off of a leg and it goes out, and it will be a corner, and this will be the last chance for DC Power to steal something in stoppage time.
I'd be surprised if everyone isn't heading forward from this opportunity. Great work by Gorley to give themselves one last lifeline.
They have scored as late as the 98th minute this season. Kurosaki bends this ball, back post, over the head of a teammate, and that's the final whistle. And Dallas does hold on and propels up the table into second, rebounding from a loss on Saturday. 1-0 victory over DC Power.
For Dallas Trinity, it's a game that the win was the most important thing. 3 points is exactly what they needed to rebound. Were there parts that Paulie McDonald be frustrated with? Absolutely, but a clean sheet of
by a 1-0 score line tonight. And are back in the win column after a loss on Saturday. The goal was set up in the 24th minute. Michael and Jess back with you, and we're now joined by the goal scorer in this matchup, Chioma Obugagu. And Chioma, take me through that goal, what you saw and how you hit that ball, and did you know that it was going in as soon as you hit it?
Yeah, so we got a free kick. I can't quite remember who got fouled, but when it was on the right side, that's usually for a left-footed person. And I just wanted to try to make sure I got it over the wall. If you can do that, it's usually hard for the keeper to see it. So when I saw it was over the wall, I felt pretty good that it was going in, so I was happy about it.
Well, what a strike it was, and it led to this victory. How important was it for you guys to not only get the victory, but the clean sheet after the disappointing result against Carolina Ascent?
Yeah, I'm super proud of how we responded. Obviously, we got defeated last week, 3-0, which was tough to swallow. But I'm really proud of our response today. We got a clean sheet. We got 3 points. So couldn't have asked anything more from our team.
Looking forward at the rest of the season, you sit in second place on the table. What's it going to take for this team to separate towards the end of the year and try to get that top spot?
Yeah, we've talked about it. I think we're a great team, and the great teams need to be consistent. So I think we have a lot of games where we play great and then we kind of, fall off. So if we can get a string of consistent good games, I think, the results will take care of themselves, and then hopefully we can be at top of the table.
Chioma, thanks so much for the time. Congrats on the win and the goal.
All right, thanks. God bless.
It's a 1-0 victory for Dallas, and we'll rewind the highlights in this one tonight. And there was a couple early chances in this. Here's Cameron Lancaster making a run, and she was impactful all night.
Cameron Lancaster is a player that just continues to grow on me, has made an instant impact in this league. This was a great strike, but what impressed me more in the duration of this entire 90 minutes was her complete work ethic.
And then in the 24th minute, it was Amber Brooks setting it up, saw the long run, and then Obugagu finishing.
Just a magic finish. It gets better and better. I just love how humble she is talking about it. She wasn't quick to take the praise, but girl, this is a fantastic strike, and I love the celebration. You see what it means to her.
59th minute, there was a good chance here as this ball whistled in after this. Anna Bagley didn't take a chance earlier, but ultimately, DC Power started to find a little bit of rhythm in this second half.
They did, but it was very difficult to break through an extremely structured Dallas Trinity side. You saw on that last phase of play, getting bodies in the way, preventing the strike finding any real good target.
And this nearly equalized.
My goodness, Gianna Gawley, a player that we highlighted in the open. You know she's got this in her locker, just a couple inches lower, and that's the equalizer again for Gawley.
Instead, it's a crossbar. And no goals tonight. They did outshoot Dallas 5-4 in the second half, but overall, Dallas's first half effort carries them to a win.
And it's all about finishing the opportunities when you get them, and the strike from Obugagu just over the line. Paulie McDonald's still going to be frustrated. She's a coach that wants the best out of her side with those 5 shots on target from the 18. But Phil Nana, there are still growing moments for this side. They are getting better, but they've got to pick up points.
A third 1-0 road loss for the season for DC Power tonight. They're winless now in 6 in a row. Meanwhile, Dallas wins its third in the last 4. The league's leading goal-scoring team jumps into a tie for second on the table and can take first on Sunday. For our entire crew tonight, and my partner Jess Charman, I'm Michael Watreng signing off, where Dallas takes out DC Power 1-0 this evening. Thanks so much for watching. Good night.